Hello students, welcome to week 12. So this week is the last week to be working on your literature review. So congratulations on coming this far on your literature review. This is your first draft. After you turn this in, you'll get some peer review on it and make some updates, and then turn in an even more polished and perfect draft for your final draft. But you're really close to a full draft of an actual full-on literature review. So for most of you, this will be the first time you've ever done a paper like this. So really great job, really great work up to this point. So another thing I wanted to point out is that we have fewer lecture videos this week and fewer chapters to give you a little extra time to work on your literature review. Oftentimes when I'm doing an in-person class, I will spend an entire day at some point around this time in course just working with students on their literature review in the class period, not doing a lecture. So that's kind of why I have fewer lectures and fewer chapters this week. So 4 chapters this week. I do want you to read Stanovich chapter 6 and do the lecture for Stanovich chapter 6. You do still have a discussion board. Stanovich chapter 6 is all about experiments as well as quasi-experiments. So your discussion board this week is a discussion on that topic. Experiments, quasi-experiments, what are the differences? You'll basically make up your own experiment. So make sure you're understanding the distinctions between a true experiment and a quasi-experiment as you go through those lectures and those chapters. With that, at the end of the week, your draft 1 of your literature review is due. So make sure, this is not usually the rule, so at your final one, this won't be the rule as well. You can turn that one in other formats. But for this first draft, to make sure it's more readable for people across different devices, you save it in .doc or .docx. So those are the Word format file saves. So from Microsoft, so .doc or .docx. So those are the 2 kinds of formats that it will accept when you try to submit it, and you try to submit, say, a PDF or a Pages file or a .odt file. It would say no, definitely not. I want you to save it that way because next week this assignment will be peer reviewed. So your peers will make notes in your document, they'll make comments in your document, they'll track changes, and it'll just make things a little bit easier if everybody is using that kind of file type. You don't have to actually be using Word to edit it or make those comments, but saving it as that Word file type tends to work the best when making these comments or making comments in the text and sending it back and forth. So for this week, just worry about perfecting your literature review. Learn a lot about experiments, do a discussion board about experiments, but take some extra time to make sure your first draft of your literature review is really great. And don't forget to save it in doc or .docx format so that your peers can peer review it early next week. All right, have a good week 12, and I will see you in the lectures.